My Karen wife refused to care for our 4-year-old daughter and claimed she was throwing up for attention, so the next time she was sick, I returned the favor. My wife has never been the brightest light bulb. I know that sounds bad to say about your own wife, but she has done stuff like claim depression and anxiety don't exist. She believes that allergies are fake, and the main thing she struggles to understand is the concept of people not feeling well. According to her, when she was a child, nobody ever got sick and that catching the cold is propaganda. To make it clear, it's not that she doesn't believe in the flu or the cold being a thing. She more so believes that when you do catch the cold, you are supposed to go about life like you don't have it instead of resting in bed or drinking tea. I remember the first time I told her that my sister was sick. This was when the virus was around and she had a really serious spell of it. Her genuine advice was for her to go outside and get some fresh air, then go to the gym and exercise in order to sweat the disease out. And if that doesn't work, convince yourself you don't have it. I laughed as I thought she was joking, but it turns out she was full on serious. A few weeks later, when she found out that my sister did not follow her advice, she became very angry and told me I'm only feeding the narrative that humans aren't resilient beings and are instead delicate daisies who need their hot tea and blankets when sick. She and I had our daughter 4 years ago, and I genuinely believe that she would understand what babies indeed do need all the care in the world, but this was not the case. I remember she would let her cry for hours or not feed her sometimes when I was at work to get her acclimated to not eating. Her reasoning for this was that it builds up her tolerance to surviving without food and therefore makes her body stronger in the long run. We had huge arguments about this and things only got better when I threatened to leave and even press charges for neglectful parenting. She became a bit better at understanding that our child does indeed need food and warm clothes and started providing for her, but one thing she has still never been able to grasp is our daughter getting sick. We had to have a huge fight about her vaccines back in the day. Nowadays, our daughter is a little more grown and can eat more and more adult foods as time goes on. Well, about a week ago, my daughter had McDonald's for the first time. She had some chicken nuggets and really enjoyed them. The next day, however, she started feeling really ill when she came to us in the middle of the night telling us that she was throwing up. Both my wife and I woke up, and she told me to go help her out. I did and stayed with her until she fell back asleep. I came back into bed and woke my wife up to talk about it, and her response baffled me. She asked me if I was seriously falling for her manipulation. I asked her what she meant, and she said it's obvious. Our daughter wants attention and wants to skip school. She has learned that by being sick, she will get attention, and she is now old enough to use things like that to her advantage. She isn't sick, and her doing things like this is your fault. I remember being in utter disbelief and going to bed. The next day, my daughter was still throwing up, so I called in sick to work to care for her while my wife complained all morning about how she was clearly faking even after I literally showed her she vomiting as well as the fact she has a fever. She still did not believe me. My daughter thankfully ended up getting better after 2 days of this. My wife complained about it the whole time. Thing is, about 3 weeks later, something I never foresaw happened. My wife came down with food poisoning. She was bedridden and was throwing up over and over. I remember she asked me to get her some water, and this was where I had my sweet revenge. I told her that she was clearly faking it for attention. She was probably too lazy to go into work and wanted to lay in bed all day and isn't actually sick. I then told her to get her own water. The look on my wife's face was priceless. That was yesterday, and she's still sick today. I came in this morning to ask her if she's done faking, and she did not look happy in the slightest.